2026 is not going to be a year when you will try to impress others, but rather a year when you can start growing from inside out, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Here is how to do it. Motivation peaks in January when we are all excited from the new blank year that we can fill in with activities, but without really thinking what we want and without really making a plan what we want to achieve this year, it's gonna be just another wasted year. Things get more complicated when we realize after January that it's not as easy as we thought it's gonna be to go to the gym 4 times per week, to eat healthy, to read more, to do anything we always wanted to do but never did it because we think it's something so unattainable, because it requires so much effort that we can't find in ourselves. Until we change, nothing changes. So in this video, I want to share with you my 3-step framework that I use to build the best 2026, and I want to have the best year too. So I'm very happy you're here with me today. My name is Sofia. I have been living and studying in 4 different countries over the past 5 years, and I'm obsessed with getting better and personal development and growth. And if this is something that interests you, then you will enjoy this video. So let's just jump straight into it. I'm pretty sure that if you follow the steps, you will not recognize yourself at the end of the year. Not to impress others, not to make sure that others think well about you and that they think how amazing you are, but rather that you can impress yourself, that you are the one that has the will to change and then has the dedication, determination to keep going even when things get tough, and then be happy from the goals you managed to achieve. The first step of the framework is reflection. This can sound like a very boring step, and we are always tempted to just jump straight into doing, into planning and into creating these new goals and being excited about what's coming next. But without stopping and looking back on what happened and what went well, what didn't went well, there is no way we can make a plan that will actually work. Looking back can not only feel boring, but it can also be scary and uncomfortable, because we go through some events and situations when we feel like we failed, when we could have done better, when we challenge ourselves, when we got out of our comfort zone. It's okay. It's the uncomfortable step we all need to go through if we want to build the best 2026. Because without looking forward, we are much more likely to commit the same errors, to do the same mistakes, and to get stuck. We'll be trying to create these plans, to move forward, to plan, to do all these different things, but we'll realize that we are not moving anywhere. And the only reason for this is that we are unconsciously still repeating the same patterns from the last year. So go through every single month of the past year and look at, first of all, on highlight of each month. I went through every single month, and I was so happy when I identified that one moment that really made the month amazing. And it can be a small thing with friends, with family. It can be something you achieved on your own. But it's always important to start with something positive and nice. It's good that you don't start straight with the negative things or the lessons and failures, but look at what went well first. If you're thinking now that, oh, but there were months when I didn't do anything, nothing crazy happened, then I want you to think a bit more and go through your gallery on your phone and find nice pictures, because something happened for sure. You were there, so you were experiencing things. So sometimes it just needs more time to identify these nice moments, but they are there. So identify them and think about what made those moments great and how would you like to recreate them also in the upcoming year. After the happy moments, it's time to move to the tough moments and things that didn't go as we planned and things that dragged us down. But what's important is that you didn't stay down there, but you stood up and kept going for the rest of your year. When you identify these things, ask yourself what didn't go well and why it didn't go well. Because one thing is knowing that, okay, this didn't go well, but the other step is asking yourself, what was the issue with that? Why am I bothered by that not going well? What can I learn from that? And then it's important to realize that all these things that happen to us that we consider wrong or bad or something like that are not bad at all, because we learned through them, we grew through them, and they made us who we are today. It takes time to realize this, but I keep realizing this every single time I look back and think about the challenging situations I went through. And then I look at me right now and I'm like, I wouldn't be who I am right now without all those situations, because they are shaping you in ways that you do not think about in that moment. And then after the moment has passed, after some time has passed, you look back and you're amazed by how much you grew. And at first sight, it might not look as growth, it might look as a painful period, and that's okay too. That just means that you need more time. But going through these moments and looking at your life and evaluating what works, what doesn't work is the only step towards creating something better in the future. One thing I would like to emphasize when it comes to reflection is that it's something that shouldn't be done on a one-year basis. It's not something that you do in January and then you do not reflect. Reflection should be part of your day-to-day life. So you can adjust the course of your life rather than waiting another year to reflect again and then realizing that, okay, I did the same mistakes again. So I like to do weekly reflections when I sit down, look at the week and do basically the same thing what I did for the whole 2025, evaluating the whole year. I do on a 7 days of the week basis. So I go through the days, I ask myself what went well, what didn't go well, why it didn't go well, and how I can adjust that for the next week. And this really creates in you the sense that, okay, I am the master of my life. I am the one who chooses how I want to spend the upcoming week, the upcoming hours, the upcoming year. And things that happen to me show me a reflection of how do I actually spend that time. And if I'm not happy with that, I can change that. But I need to reflect first to see what goes well and what doesn't. Reflection is also amazing to do at the daily basis. It doesn't have to be long because, yeah, we want to do things, not just reflect. But looking at your day and thinking about how you spend your time is again the same thing, but on a little bit smaller scale. As in every video, I have some action points for you so you can start implementing this into your life right now. So set a timer for 10 minutes and do this reflection. And you will realize after 10 minutes that it's not enough time to go through your whole year in 10 minutes, but it's a good start. And every time we are doubting if we should start or not, 10 minutes is enough to get us moving. And I was doing this reflection of 2025 for a good hour and a half. And what I did then, I reflected and shared with my family, which was amazing. So this is another tip for you. If you have some people around you that you would like to share your year with and the lessons you learned and what you're grateful for, then this is a good time to do that. It's never too late to look back and evaluate and then plan accordingly the next steps. After we reflected, we can move to the second step of the 3-step framework, and that is identifying the standards you set for yourself and the habits you will do on a day-to-day basis to get to your dream outcome. And this stage is not about planning, it's not about just writing down things that you wish for, things that would be nice to have, the things that would be amazing to just have a magic wand and say something magical and suddenly you are that person, because in real life it doesn't work like this. Imagine this version of you that already achieved all of those things you want to achieve sitting next to you. And then you ask, okay, what do you do on a day-to-day basis to get where you are right now? And that person, that future you, will tell you exactly what needs to be done. And it's not going to tell you these beautiful statements that we call this vision statement and all these things that don't work very well, but it will tell you on Mondays, I did this, this and this. On Friday, I rested, but then on Saturday, I started again. And this can apply to any goal, but that person, which is you in the future, can tell you exactly what needs to be done on a day-to-day basis to get closer to your goals. You identify habits and standards that the person sets on a day-to-day basis to achieve those goals. Because goals are just nice statements. Those are very great for creating this cocktail of hormones, dopamine, that makes us feel good that, okay, we are on top of the world, we can achieve anything. But this motivation and this feeling and drive really fades away very quickly if we do not have systems and habits in place that, if repeated again and again, get us closer to our goals. Just thinking about your goals doesn't get you closer to your goals. The action we need to take, that's the most difficult part. Habit creation is not easy because we have this behavior that's already encoded in us, and yeah, we feel comfortable in a warm bed in the morning. We do not want to wake up. We just do not. I don't want. And the only way how you can overcome this is to create new habits. Habits that are not just temporary boost of motivation, but something as an engine that drives you forward for the long term. Some examples of what works when it comes to creating new habits is time blocking. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe not, but it really works. And that's just when you put in your calendar when exactly are you going to do specific activities. It's your sacred calendar, sacred space, and dedicated time for that specific activity. Whether it's working out, whether it's recording more videos, whether it's starting that new hobby, playing an instrument, anything. If it's in your calendar, treat the time block as something sacred that you will do. Because then you think, because then you will realize that only if you do it and you repeat it again and again, you will get closer. And you will not see this immediately. You need some time to pass to again look back and being able to reflect and see that it really worked. But you'll be amazed how fast you see the progress if you repeat the action and again. Time blocking can sometimes feel intimidating because you put it on the calendar randomly and then you're like, okay, now what am I gonna do? It's 2 o'clock, I'm supposed to start my guitar lesson. I don't feel like doing that, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, this happens to all of us, and that's why another tip to create the systems and habits is to use habit stacking. And that's about creating new habits on top of those that we already have. And this is pretty handy because we like to create systems in a way that feel effortless. And if you suddenly put your guitar lesson at 2 p.m. randomly, just because you have time, then it's not gonna work because your brain is not used to it. You will need some time to tell your brain that, okay, this is what I want to do on Tuesdays afternoons at 2 o'clock. But if you start with something that you already are doing, let's say you have a class that finishes at 12. So, okay, I'm gonna have a lunch, and then after lunch, I'm going to listen to one guitar song, and then I'm gonna grab my guitar and start practicing. So you create this habits based on what you're already doing. So okay, after I finish lunch and play my favorite song, that song will become a cue for grabbing the guitar and starting playing yourself. It's not easy to create good systems. I'm struggling with it myself. I'm not perfect. I'm trying to design them in a way that are truly gonna work this year. One important thing to mention is that we're not gonna be perfect, and this habit creation and system creation is trial and error, seeing what works, trying to implement this principle, but it gets tough. I wanna emphasize that it's very important that you have grace with yourself, and you can't be too tough. It's important to be like a little bit tough on yourself, but not too much, because it's normal that your habits needs time to start working. You need 21 days. Some people say more, some people say less. You need this time to create that habit. If something doesn't work after 2 times, it doesn't mean there is something wrong with you. It just naturally takes more time. The action point for this step is to identify one habit, but for now, it's not going to be a habit that you want to add to your life, but a habit that you want to remove from your life. Something toxic that you know that you shouldn't be doing, but you keep doing it. Let's say scrolling on social media. I think this is a toxic habit that all of us are guilty of at some point. Some more, some less. Anyway, we keep scrolling. We all are. And what we can do with this habit is that we don't have to tell ourselves that now I'm not going to scroll at all, because that's not going to work. We're going to be tempted and we're going to do it, and maybe we'll be doing it longer than we used to. So what's better is to just give yourself some limits. So let's say I'm not going to scroll on Instagram after 9 p.m. or I'm going to put a limit so the app will not let me in after a certain time has passed. It's nice to start small. It's nice to start in a way that doesn't feel like a great chore, but slowly and steadily, and focusing on just one thing at a time. I started with removing habits rather than adding habits, because when you remove some habits, you suddenly free up so much time that you can use to implement these new habits. So the action tip for you is to start with the removal of something toxic, and then you'll suddenly have so much more free time to start creating systems and implementing new habits that get you closer to the life you want in 2026. And the last step of the 3-step framework is the vision section. And now I'm not talking about daydreaming, I'm not talking about visualizing something unrealistic and wishing universe to send it to you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this future version of you that you step into today. What I mean by this is that you imagine yourself at the end of this year, and that version of you has it all. Has all the things that you reflected on and planned with systems and habits that you want to get closer to in 2026. That version of you doesn't have to be perfect, but it made progress this year on things that you really want to make progress on. So close your eyes and imagine that version of you. And then, as we talked to this version of us in the previous step and thinking back how we can implement day-to-day action to get closer to the version, now it's your job to reverse engineer all the steps to put into your calendar and to make sure that the steps you follow on a day-to-day basis get you closer to this dream vision. This reverse engineering can sound difficult because how on earth should I know when to do what and how to do it? And that's where AI and artificial intelligence can come pretty handy, because you just tell the AI when you have time, you can share the calendar, you can tell when you feel more productive, when you can work better, and the AI will help you design the perfect plan. You don't need to come up for hours hours with some tiny details. You share all this with AI and ask for the steps you need to take on a day-to-day basis. And here we are, there is a perfect plan. It's just about using the right prompts and arriving to the right answers. But don't make your life unnecessarily more difficult, because one thing is creating these plans and spending hours designing them, and the other thing is actually get to work and doing them. As I said, you want to start small. You do not want to overwhelm yourself at the start of the year with doing 100 different things to get closer to this 100 different goals. So of course your ideal version in the future has it all. But think about just the sub-version of you that achieved progress in, let's say, one area of your life. One crucial thing I want you to remember, and I think this is the most important part of the whole video, is that the moment you create this goal, the moment you implement the action, and the moment you show up every single day to do and work on the better version of you, the moment you do that, you are already that person. And I want you to do this mindset shift and to switch this in your brain and think about yourself today as the person you want to become in the future. For example, I'm thinking about myself as a content creator. Even though at first it felt a little bit weird to tell people about me creating videos, and I felt a bit weird and uncomfortable, and what are they gonna say, and content creator, it sounds so silly. But then I realized, here I am creating videos, I'm dedicating my time to it, I'm doing it a lot, I'm enjoying it. So why should I not call myself a content creator now, before the success comes and views and all these things? I don't care about it as much as about the identity of who I am. I am a content creator and I will keep creating videos no matter what. But this applies to anything. You think about yourself as an athlete. The moment you set goals for the gym, for your running, for anything, any sport you do, that moment you are already a basketball player, a football player, a lifter, whatever that is, you are already that person, because that's who you are. And then you take the steps, you reverse engineer it with me throughout the video. And when you do the steps, there will be a point when you will arrive at the destination. You will realize that, okay, here it is, I tick it off. It will not feel that amazing as you initially thought. But when you look back and you will see the process of who you were becoming throughout the years, because some goals takes years to achieve, you will see the growth and the immense journey you went through, and you will feel much greater gratitude and happiness, and the whole process will feel like an achievement itself, rather than fixating on this endpoint that, okay, I want million subscribers or I want to have thousands of views. No, here I am creating videos for you. If you're watching this and if it's giving value to you, I achieved my goal. I think that's it for today. I really hope you will start creating your incredible 2026 right now. So you will reflect, you'll create your systems and set standards for yourself, and then you will create this vision into which you will step right now and start living that vision today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye.